Hey there, this is Kari, Studio R12 Stencils, and today we're going to teach you 4 tips to paint a perfect stencil project every time. I have already base coated my surface, and there's a video for that. You can check it out in the cards and get everything you need to know about base coating before you get ready to stencil. So we are Studio R12 Stencils. On StudioR12.com, you can find more than 7,000 titles of different stencils, surfaces, tools, everything you need to paint your project. And one thing that sets us apart from a lot of stencil companies is that we do stencils in several different sizes. We have stencils from 4 inches all the way up to jumbo 6-foot stencils. And that is something that is really amazing because just regardless of what size project you like to paint, you can find something. So one of our first tips on stenciling is to tape down your stencil to your surface. And that's so it doesn't move. So if I have one side taped down here and I am moving, the stencil is going to move as well. However, if I tape down both sides, I'm gonna get it nice and lined up with my surface. This stencil is not going to wiggle at all, which can help prevent bleeding under. So tip number 1 for stenciling a perfect project every time is your paint. We use acrylic paint. We get our paint from Sherwin-Williams. We buy in bulk. We have a paint color guide that you can click on in the description below, and you can see what colors we use. And if you find something that you love in one of our projects, you can paint along with us with the same colors. You don't want to buy the cheapest paint. Sometimes it's filled with water and it's not going to be very thick. And the more runny your paint is, the more chance you have of bleeding under. So that being said, we also never add water to our paint when we are stenciling. Tip number 2 to painting a perfect stencil project every time is your applicator. We love the dome brush. We see a lot of stencilers using a flat brush. The flatter the brush, the more the chances are that you are going to bleed under on your project. We love the dome brush because you are going to put your paint right on top and only a portion of the brush is actually going to hit your project. We have several different sizes of these dome brushes. The one that we use the most is the 5/8, which is the biggest. You can get them in sets, you can get them in multiple different sizes. And depending on what size of projects you are doing and how much detail you're going to put in is really going to determine what size brush you would like to use. For this project, we have a bunch of open space, so we are going to use the biggest dome brush. Tip number 3 to painting a perfect stencil project every time is probably one of the most important, and that is offloading. So you are going to get your dome brush, get some paint on your brush, and then immediately come to a paper towel and swirl 10 or 15 circles. So the more you do this, the more you will know how much you need to swirl for how heavy a hand that you have. And it might seem like a waste of paint, but I promise you it's not, because it is going to prevent that bleeding under. If you would just scoop up paint and come to your project, there's going to be so much paint on your project, it is going to go under the stencil. The offloading prevents that. We're going directly into tip number 4, and that is using a swirling method. So we come to our project and we swirl in circles. So you can see as I am swirling on this project, there's not a lot of paint. This is a dusting of paint at best, and that is exactly what we are looking for. You should not be able to see any swirl marks on your project, and it shouldn't be wet and goopy. That's how you'll know if you got the right amount of paint off your brush when you were offloading. And when we talked about, is it a waste of paint? Look how much of my project I am able to get done even after offloading. So we're just now on getting, about halfway through. before I'm starting to run out of paint. So I'm going to go over here, apply more paint, and every time we apply more paint, we offload. One way you can check to see if you have the right amount of paint on your brush is to do a hand test. So I have my paint on my brush. I'm going to come to my palm and do a little dusting on my hand. It should not be wet. It should not be goopy, but there's a light dusting on my hand. So it can get messy on your hand. However, it may save your project. So I'm going to come back here and look. This time I have a little too much on here because I can see the brush strokes. So I'm going to come and do 2 more offloads and then come back to my project and start swirling. Stenciling is a layers game. Depending on what kind of look you want for your project will determine how many layers you are going to use on your project. If you are looking for a rustic project or a country looking feel, then you might only want to do 1 layer of stencil because you want it to look like it's worn and distressed. However, if you want something really bright and bold, something that's going to pop, then you might want to add 3 to 4 layers of your stenciling. Right now, we just have a really dusty layer, but I'm going to show you on the top portion of the project how it looks after we add 2 layers and then 3 layers of stenciling. So now as we come down to the bottom, the top is already dry, and that's one of the beauties of swirling and offloading is that you don't have a lot of paint on your project. So by the time you get back up here, it is already dry and ready for the next layer. There is another method of stenciling that we sometimes use, and that is called stippling, which is a tapping motion. That is a technique that I like to use if I'm looking for a really bold look on my project. So if I wanted these words to be really bright and bold, I would do that, but I am not going to do that until I get to the very last layer, because the more when you stipple, you're applying a lot of pressure and you are hitting your project. And the more you do that, the more paint is going to get shoved up into your brush, and the chances are going to be increased that you bleed under because you're applying more pressure and you have more paint in your brush. So let's take a look at layer number 2 compared to layer number 1. So see here we have our layer number 1, which was just a light dusting. Layer number 2 is a little bit darker. So let's add another layer, always making sure we're getting our stencil lined back up correctly. And I was always anti-peaking. I think if we have another tip that we add here, it is that you want to peak on your project, because that is the only way that you're going to know how it's going and if you have made a mistake. Mistakes will happen, and that's okay. And lucky for you, we make mistakes all the time. And we have videos on how to fix your mistakes. Time is really of the essence when you are thinking about fixing mistakes on your stencil projects. If the paint cures and gets too dry, then you're not going to be able to erase and fix those mistakes. So now, since I have a few layers of paint on here, my paint is a little more wet because now I'm on my 3rd layer. I will show you what my 3rd layer looks like. So there we have our 3rd layer. It is definitely getting more bold. Now I'm going to blow dry before I paint my next layer, just so I can make sure that the paint is nice and dry. So what happens if you are swirling and you are still bleeding under? There's a chance that that could happen. And then we want you to look at a couple of things. One is, are you offloading? And are you checking your offloading on your hand to make sure that you have offloaded enough? Once you start doing this a lot, you will get a feel for it and you'll know how much you need to offload. And the offloading is also going to depend on how heavy your hand is at stenciling. If you are coming to your project and you're being really light and you're not applying a lot of pressure, then you might not need to offload as much. But if you are going to be applying a lot of pressure, you might need to offload more so that you prevent that bleeding under. And those are things that you'll get as time goes on. So now I think we're on layer 4 here. And we do have a couple spots that I would like to be a little more bold. So now I'm going to come into my stippling, but once again, I'm going to blow dry before I get back to painting. And I'm actually only going to stipple the topward. I'm going to continue to swirl on the bottom so that you can see the difference in this. So I'm coming to my project, I offloaded, and I am just doing a tapping motion right through my stencil. And this will give you a little arm workout. A lot of people don't like this technique because they say it makes their arms sore. I like to use this just to add that finishing touch and really add a bold look to my designs. You will go through your paint a lot quicker when you are stippling because you are applying more pressure and you're pushing more into the brush. So you will have to apply paint more often when you do this. So we often get asked, how many brushes do I need? And that is really going to be dependent on how often you are painting. So if you are painting once a week, not very often, then a 5 set of dome brushes is going to be great for you. And that will also be great for beginners because then you're not going to know necessarily what size projects you are doing if you are just getting started. So this will give you the opportunity, if you get a 5 set, to get all the sizes and see which ones you like best. If you're going to be painting a couple times a week, you might want 10 or 15 brushes. So a couple sets so you have some options, because if you are going to be painting multiple colors, then you have to switch brushes. As soon as you're done with your brush, you put it in your water and you wash it. So when you're done with your project, you're gonna wash it. That's probably needs to be an extra tip on this, is you always use a dry dome brush. You never want to use a wet dome brush. So after you are done, if you decide to go yellow and then green, but you only had one brush, you would put this in the water, you would wash it, you would let it dry completely before you start again. Because if you have a wet brush, that paint is gonna get watered down a little, increasing your chances of bleeding under. If you are going to be painting several times a week and you are painting for craft shows and artist events, then you are probably going to want 30 or more brushes, because the more colors you use, the more brushes you'll need, and the more projects you're painting, the more brushes you'll need. And we have videos on how to clean our dome brushes, and I will link those above. I'm gonna plop this in the water bucket. I'm going to pull this off and show you, voila. Look how beautiful and bold that is. And there's really not much difference here in the stippling versus the swirling. There are a couple little spots here that I'll probably add another layer of the swirl to, just so I can get them as bold as the rest of the project. But with those tips, you should be able to paint a perfect stencil project every time. And if you ever have any questions, be sure to ask them in the comments below so we can make sure that you feel comfortable on your stencil projects.